And we say good morning to you. Welcome. We're live at Chick-Fil-A, the Crossings in North Johnson City. Thank you for being with us here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. It is a Wednesday. Every time we're at Wednesday, we're at Chick-Fil-A, the Crossings in North Johnson City. Glad to have you with us. And, we got lots to talk about. A ton of sports today. We're going to be hearing from a little bit later on the Major League Baseball update with our buddy Greg Salyer. He's going to join us. Also, Dave Angie from the Johnson City Press. And we've got basketball, and more basketball. And so we welcome you. We thank you for being with us. We always start our show, of course, with the man who hung on the cross is who we dedicate this show to. Today it is Psalms 119, 105, and it says, my word is a lamp to your feet and a light for your path. And there you go. That's how we get it going today. Again, on this Wednesday, again, we thank you. Our show number show number 474. We're on our way to the number 500 show, which we'll have a big celebration starting Monday, first of the week. We'll give you a chance to win tickets to Bristol Motor Speedway. We are 42 days away from Bush's Beans Pole Day. It's going to be a lot of fun. So we're going to have a big time, and that'll be all coming up starting on Monday, the 13th. Also on Monday, we're going to be broadcasting our first baseball game. Looking forward to doing that. The Elizabethton Cyclones and the Unicoi County Blue Devils from O'Brien Field in Elizabethton. So the lid lifter of the 2017 season. And so we're very, very excited to be promoting Ryan Presnell and his great folks again for the Elizabethton Cyclone baseball team. So, again, going to be a lot of fun. Can't wait. So that's coming up on Monday. Again, March the 13th. And of course, when you start baseball season, you always start talking about crummy weather. And sure enough, they're talking about a chance of some snow coming in here over the weekend. And there is a chance even some accumulations in the mountains. So go figure. It's been beautiful today. Be a great day to have a baseball game. But I can't want to count starting on Monday. They are calling for a chance of rain in the forecast. But today, man, it is beautiful out here. Woo! It is gorgeous. Sun's out. We're here at Chick-Fil-A, the Crossings in North Johnson City. It is busy, as it always is. So we thank you for being with us here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Again, here's our title screen today. Let me tell you, I should say title lineup. There it is. We're going to see video of Chase Elliott. We've come up with a brand new piece of the equipment, thanks to Jeremiah Clark and the folks at Appalachian Digital. We're going to be seeing videos now, starting today. And our very first video, here's some trivia. What's the very first video of the Tom Taylor Sports Show we've ever seen? And guess what it's going to be? Chase Elliott from the Napa number 24 Napa Chevrolet Rick Hendrick Motorsports team. So we'll see and hear him. Also, we're going to hear from Dave Angie. We'll see and hear him too. And Greg Salyer and more as we're here live again, as we said, at Chick-fil-A at the Crossings in North Johnson City. So it's going to be a lot of action going on today. Basketball all over the place. College basketball tournaments are starting in earnest. And so we're going to take a look at that. We've got some baseball to tell you about. A couple of Tennessee Volunteers no longer on the team, on the Tennessee football team. We'll tell you about that. So all that and more coming up here as we're live at Chick-fil-A. Also today, brand new cell paper came out. And so the new cell paper came out for Food City. And that, of course, gives you a chance to know that some great specials starting today, running through next Tuesday, store closing. Also, don't forget this weekend is daylight savings time. Spring forward and change your smoke detector batteries during the daylight savings sale at Food City, where Sylvania LED light bulbs are 40% off right now. Also, Duracell batteries for your smoke detectors on sale. CD 9-volt AAA for $5.99. Also, you have Pure Filter furnace filters. Good time to check those as well for only $4.99 again at your Food City. Again, daylight savings time coming up, and so it's a daylight savings sale, as we're saying. Also, you get some buy one, get one frees this week at Food City. The cell paper out today, brand spanking new. Frito-Lay Doritos, buy one, get one free. Also, Wide Awake Coffee, 12-count or 12-ounce pack. Buy one, get one free at your local Food City. We'll be right down the road at Food City in Boones Creek on Friday. Food City Ice Cream, 48-ounce container. Buy one, get one free. And Food Club American Singles, this week, 16-ounce, 24 slices. Buy one, get one free. Those are several of the specials that just came out today. Again, with the brand new cell paper that's going to be good through Tuesday. Store closing of next week. Tom Taylor Sports Show. Again, we're live at Chick-fil-A, the Crossings in North Johnson City. Neat place to come. And, of course, the Cobb salad's up there right now, the market salad. These are salads. They're selling a lot of salads here in the we're not quite to spring. Spring coming March 21st, but weather-wise, it certainly looks and feels like spring for now. And so they've been selling a lot of salads here at Chick-fil-A. And we'll run down for you the Cobb salad and the market salad and some of the other salads here throughout the course of the show. So I don't know where we start. We got so much to talk about. We'll take our first break. We'll jump back in here and take a look at college basketball. The tournaments are up and running, and so we'll do that right after we take our first break. We're live here at Chick-Fil-A, the Crossings in North Johnson City. On Facebook Live, you're watching, listening to the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, they treat thousands of patients each year dealing with diabetes and its effects. Diabetes overtaking our nation and leaving a path of destruction behind. Through wound care, office visits, and preventive care, they see most of the patients after a problem arises. Using diabetic footwear such as shoes and inserts, a great way to prevent or prolong skin breakdown and amputation. At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, they use only custom molds from patient mold inserts, which further ensure a great recovery, or better yet, prevents a wound from happening. They use custom molded shoes, bracing, custom inserts, and extra depth diabetic shoes to prevent wounds or other skin issues from beginning. Call today, 1-800-524-4447. 39 years, 6 locations, 1 family. Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, 1-800-524-4447.
Any day is a good day to get a tray from Chick-fil-A. Over 10 to choose from. Perfect for having the gang over to watch the big game, birthday parties, church get-togethers, backyard gatherings, everything from fruit trays to garden salad trays to nuggets and chicken strip trays. And for the sweet tooth, try the cinnamon cluster or chocolate chunk cookie tray. So you see, any day is a good day to get a tray from Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A at the Crossings in North Johnson City.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at fca.org.
And back with the Tom Taylor Sports Show again. Thanks for being with us. We is live again on this beautiful, beautiful day, of course, here in Northeast Tennessee and Southwest Virginia. And again, we thank you for allowing us to be a part of you and the show here. Let's take off and go with it, see what's going on in the world of college basketball. ACC from yesterday, Clemson defeated North Carolina State 75-61. Of course, they're looking for a coach now, as you know, coming up at North Carolina State. You also have Wake Forest over Boston College 92-78. And the Pitt Panthers defeated Georgia Tech in a barn burner 61-59. Here's the ACC schedule for today coming out of New York. Starting up right now at noon, we'll hope to have scores for you. We will have scores for you. Syracuse and Miami playing at noon today. Duke and Clemson getting with it at 2:30. Virginia Tech, the Hokies, take on Wake Forest tonight at 7 o'clock. And the nightcap, the Virginia Cavaliers taking on the Pitt Panthers at 9:30 this evening. Everything going on again at the ACC tournament there in New York. So again, Syracuse, Miami at noon. Duke and Clemson at 2:30. Virginia Tech and Wake Forest at 7. And Virginia and Pitt taking the court at 9:30 tonight at the Barclays Center in New York. That's in the ACC. Big East Conference tournament cranking up tonight as well. 2 games on tap. St. John's takes on the Hoyas of Georgetown. That'll be at 7 o'clock tonight. And Xavier, the Musketeers, battling DePaul. That's at 9:30 this evening. Big East Conference being played at the Madison Square Garden Complex, of course, in New York City. Big Ten Conference gets going today. A couple of ball games, an afternoon affair, then a nighttime game. This is at the Verizon Center in Washington. Nebraska, the Cornhuskers taking on Penn State, 4:30 tip-off. That'll be happening again in Washington between the Nittany Lions and the Cornhuskers. Ohio State and Rutgers will play tonight at 7 o'clock in the opening round of the Big Ten Conference. Big 12 Conference coming up again. It also gets going today. Everybody really cranking up from here on out. The Big 12 Conference in Kansas City. 2 games tonight. TCU and Oklahoma at 7 o'clock. And then also Texas Tech, the Red Raiders, taking on the Texas Longhorns at 9:30 this evening in the opening game of the Big 12 Conference at the Sprint Center in Kansas City, Missouri. Pac-12 Conference at 2 gets going at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas. 4 games on tap starting at 3 o'clock. Arizona State and Stanford. California, the Golden Bears, and Oregon State at 5:30. Colorado and Washington State will get with it at 9 o'clock. And Southern Cal and Washington at 11:30 tonight. And that's the action for the Pac-12 Conference. Southeastern Conference Tournament gets going. 2 games tonight. Mississippi State and LSU at 7 o'clock. And then Auburn and Missouri will take the floor at 9:25. Missouri without Kim Anderson, who got let go earlier in the week. So interim coaching staff in Missouri guiding the Tigers against Auburn. Tennessee, of course, plays tomorrow at 1 o'clock against the Georgia Bulldogs. And that's, of course, as we said, going on at the Bridgestone Arena in Nashville. Conference USA tournament also cranking up today in Birmingham. Conference USA, 12:30, Western Kentucky, University of Texas and San Antonio. Rice and Southern Miss at 3, UAB and Charlotte at 6:30 tonight. And then at 9 o'clock, we are Marshall. The Thundering Herd and Florida Atlantic at 9 o'clock tonight in the opening round of the Conference USA tournament in Birmingham, Alabama. Speaking of Marshall, they're in town today baseball-wise. Take on East Tennessee State. They're playing that game at Thomas Stadium today at 6:30. And the Buccaneers got rained out last night against UT in the baseball games. They're playing Marshall tonight. Go Herd. They'll play Marshall at 6:30 at Thomas Stadium here in Johnson City. So that's what's going on in college basketball. Again, teams that have punched the ticket that are in automatic bids just since last night. Of course, East Tennessee State, Florida Gulf Coast, Iona for the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference, Jacksonville State in the Ohio Valley Conference, Mount St. Mary's in the Northeast Conference. Northern Kentucky is in. They won the Horizon League Championship. UNC Wilmington, the Seahawks are in by virtue of winning the Colonial Athletic Conference. Wichita State, Missouri Valley Conference winner, and Winthrop out of the Big South. They, too, are in the big dance. So those teams have been decided and ready to go for college basketball's March Madness. And, of course, East Tennessee State, everybody I've talked to keeps saying anywhere between a 12, I mean, not 12, but a 13, 14, 12, 13, 14 seed, somewhere through there. So we'll see. But, again, it's going to be a lot of fun to see where the Bucks go. Of course, they'll make that selection coming up in the pairings party, if you will. March Madness coming up on Sunday when the committee announces who's going where. Of course, a lot of basketball between now and then. In the Southeastern Conference, by the way, you have Georgia and Tennessee tomorrow at 1 o'clock. That winner will play Kentucky in the quarterfinals at 1 o'clock on Friday. Also, you look at some of the big names in the Big Ten playing tomorrow. Michigan, Illinois, Michigan State takes on the winner of Nebraska, Penn State, Iowa, and Indiana tomorrow. And Northwestern plays the winner of Ohio State and Rutgers tomorrow night. So a lot of basketball going on there in the Big Ten Conference. It's going on all over the place as well. So that's what's happening in the men's college basketball tournaments in college basketball. The pairings have been announced for the state basketball tournament for the boys, and in AA, Sullivan East drew Maplewood. Will play them at 11:30 next Thursday, a week from tomorrow, at 11:30 our time. The AA tournament, Maplewood and Sullivan East. So good luck to John Dyer. He is the Lone Ranger going down to the boys state basketball tournament this year, and nobody else from our neck of the woods is going to be there. And so, well, Bearden's going there from Knoxville and Oak Ridge, but from Northeast Tennessee, as we call it, it'll be Sullivan East, the Lone Ranger, for the game coming up next week in the boys tournament. Now for the ladies, they play, we've got, 3 or 4 teams there. Oak Ridge plays this morning. In fact, they're tipping it up as we speak at 11 o'clock against Memphis Central, so good luck to the Lady Wildcats. Also, Morristown West at 30-3 takes on Riverdale at 31-0 at 2:15 this afternoon. Again, an unfortunate disadvantage for Morristown West because the Murfreesboro teams, when they're in the state tournament, they let school out, which is understandable. I mean, I get that, but still the opposing team doesn't have a chance as far as crowd, and so all the students will be over there on school time game at 2:15. So Riverdale will have a decided home court advantage against Morristown West at 2:15. Again, coming up this afternoon at the Murphy Center at Middle Tennessee State University in Murfreesboro. Then also tomorrow, you've got the single-A girls basketball tournament. The Hampton Lady Bulldogs at 22-13 taking on Huntington at 25-14. And then South Green, the Lady Rebels, the number one ranked team in the state in single-A basketball. They're taking on Pickett County. South Green at 32-4 and Pickett County at 30-2. They'll play tomorrow night at 7 o'clock again at the Murphy Center on the campus of Middle Tennessee State University. So exciting times in basketball. And again, you look at the Southeastern Conference, go back to them for just a second. And Southeastern Conference, well, let's go back to Sullivan East for just a second. I want to finish up on that. The Patriots taking on Maplewood next week. Maplewood features two-time Class AA Mr. Basketball winner Bo Hodges, a senior shooting guard who has committed to play basketball for Coach Forbes at East Tennessee State. So get a chance to see a Buccaneer early, as again it'll be the Panthers of Maplewood and Sullivan East next Thursday at 12:30. And Maplewood has two-time Class AA Mr. Basketball winner Bo Hodges. So obviously the kid can play, and it'll be fun to watch him, knowing that he's going to be coming to East Tennessee State for 4 years next year for Coach Forbes. All Southeastern Conference teams have been announced, and it goes as follows. Let's see what we've got as far as the Southeastern Conference. Player of the Year, I don't think there's any surprise there. Malik Monk of Kentucky is the Player of the Year in the Southeastern Conference. The Coach of the Year, the Florida Gators, Mike White. That'll make the Gator Man happy. Hello to the Gator Man, by the way. He is, I think, back up and ready to go. The Gator Man working hard again at Cherokee Barbershop in South Johnson. He's had the flu bug, and so he is back and in action. That's a good thing. And so when the Gator Man and the Gator Man's in, the barber pole's out, and the Gator Man's in, and he's there at South Johnson City, right down from Tipton Haynes Working Farm on South Roan Street there in the Executive Park Complex. So when the barber pole's out, the Gator Man's in. He's working today, and so it's good to see. He's a big Gator Man, obviously, so he should be happy. His coach was Coach of the Year in the Southeastern Conference. That would be Mike White from Florida. Also, Newcomer of the Year, Malik Monk of Kentucky. First team, you had Darren Fox of Kentucky, Sebastian Says from Ole Miss, J.J. Frazier from Georgia, Sindarius Thornwell from South Carolina, and Malik Monk from Kentucky on the first team, all Southeastern Conference. So pretty impressive lot there. So again, Malik Monk, Player of the Year, Newcomer of the Year, and the Coach of the Year, Mike White from the Florida Gators. We've got NFL news. We've got baseball news coming up. We've got, the Lady Buffs of Milligan in action tonight. We'll tell you about that coming up here in a few minutes, because they are on the road. They're going to be in the NAIA National Tournament in Sioux City, Iowa. And so we will talk about that coming up here in just a few minutes. How about the grilled market salad here at Chick-Fil-A? Sliced grilled chicken breast served on a fresh bed of chopped romaine lettuce and baby greens, topped with shredded red cabbage and carrots, crumbled blue cheese, and a mix of red and green apples, strawberries, and blueberries made fresh every day. Served with a harvest nut granola, roasted nut blend, and zesty apple cider vinaigrette. It's a great salad. And only 320 calories. Calories from fat, only 130. Very, very good for you. It's the grilled market salad. You can get that here at Chick-fil-A at the Crossings in North Johnson City. Also, I want to tell you about, it's not really new, but it is new. It's been out for a while. For breakfast, the Chick-fil-A Egg White Grill. It is a breakfast portion of grilled chicken with a hint of citrus flavor, stacked with freshly grilled egg whites and American cheese, served on a toasted multi-grain English muffin. It is out of this world, and it's only 300 calories with a whopping 25 grams of protein. So can't beat it. It's a great sandwich. It's fairly new. It's been out, 3 or 4 months, I suppose, maybe a little bit longer. But the Chick-fil-A Egg White Grill, served every morning for breakfast here 6 days a week until 10:30 at Chick-fil-A here at the Crossings in North Johnson City. Tom Taylor Sports Show again coming up on Monday. Be ready. We're going to start getting you qualified to win tickets to the world's fastest half mile, Bristol Motor Speedway and Steel and Camera, the Bass Pro Shop NRA night race coming up in August. It's the toughest ticket in NASCAR. We're looking forward to being a part of that and giving you a chance to win tickets then as well. But tickets will be given away starting Monday. We'll be for the spring racing activities at the world's fastest half mile the Food City 500. It's going to be a lot of fun. And, of course, Bush's Beans Pole Day is, 42 days away. Then you have on Saturday, the 22nd of April, you have the doubleheader, the Canyon Series, and then also the Fitzgerald Glider 300. Eric Jones, the defending champ of that race. I don't know if he'll be back since he went up on the Cup Series now. He's now running with Front Row Motorsports, Martin Truex Jr. I don't know if he'll be back or not. If he will, fantastic. If not, we'll crown a new champion in that division. And, of course, the Food City 500 on April the 23rd, certainly crowning a new champion there because Carl Edwards won it last year on the 24th anniversary of the Food City 500. Of course, this year, the 25th anniversary of the Food City 500. Tickets are on sale at Food City through April the 17th. You can get your tickets again for a $50 ticket general admission and turns 1 and 2 in the Kawiki Grandstand. And so you can stop by there and get your tickets at any Food City. $50 for adults and only a $10 ticket for kids for Sunday's Food City 500. All that's available again at Chick-Fil-A. Chick-Fil-A. That's all available. That's where we are. It's all available again at all Food Cities of 106 stores across the chain. Again, the great Food City stores. And so a $50 adult ticket and a $10 kid ticket. Can't beat it. And turns 1 and 2 coming out of the front stretch and heading down the back stretch. I mean, it's right there in the turn. It's a great seat. There are no bad seats at Bristol. And so it's going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to being over there. Again, coming up in 42 days to Bush's Beans Pole Day. And again, your tickets are on sale at Food City now. Again, for $50 for adults and $10 for kids. And all you got to do is go to the customer service desk at any Food City, and they've got it for you ready to go. Quick break. We'll be right back. We're live here at Chick-fil-A. It is 11:25. Coming up at the top of the hour, Greg Salyer joins us with the Major League Baseball update. Also, a little bit later in the show, as we do every time we're here, our buddy Dave Angie joins us from the Johnson City Press. And we'll take a break, come back with more sports right after this. How about last night? Russell Westbrook did it again. We'll take a look at the NBA last night and other sports right after this. From Chick-fil-A, you're watching, listening to on Facebook Live, the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
At American Import Auto Repair in Johnson City, one of the 8 areas of your vehicle that takes constant continuing education is the air conditioner on your vehicle.
Well, you would think that AC would be a simple one, but it's getting to be a lot bigger than just AC. It's the management of the system, not just AC, but heat and everything. It's a lot more computer controlled than it used to be. It used to be just a little button on the dash that you pushed. Now there's all kinds of electronics involved in that. Braking systems used to be fairly simple. Now some of the newer vehicles, you have to have a computer to actually operate the braking system to make sure that it's okay after you've worked on it. Computer controlled of the engine is becoming very important. There's a lot to that. Each one of these areas, the technology is just tripled and quadrupled in the last few years. It's hard to keep up. You really need to stay in the books and know what's going on with them.
American Import Auto Repair, Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111. Blue Lizard Australian sunscreen originated in Australia, where sunscreen standards are the strictest in the world. Although our products are now manufactured here in the U.S., we continue to adhere to the most stringent Australian standards to offer the best in broad-spectrum sun protection. Blue Lizard, the brand most recommended by pediatricians and dermatologists. Our smart bottle turns blue in the presence of UV rays, reminding you to cover up. You bring the sun, Blue Lizard brings the magic.
It's Friday night at 7 o'clock. You've been involved in a car accident. You may be out of state on vacation or just a few miles from home. What do? Who do you call? At Farmers Insurance Group, one call is all you have to make. Hello, this is Jim Klein, an agent with Farmers Insurance. It's called One and Done. You don't have to wait till Monday morning to file a claim. You can make the initial call and we'll begin right away to help you. We assist you in moving the vehicle to a certified repair shop, getting you set up with rental car, and informing your agent. Then here at the staff at Jim Klein Farmers Insurance, we follow the claim through to the end. It's that easy. One and Done. We're your one and done location for all your insurance needs. Auto, home, life, commercial, workers' comp, and bonds. We can help you with all your insurance needs. Give me a call today, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance at 247-5400, your one and done location in Kingsport, 247-5400.
Hi, I'm Rob Cole with Bays Mountain Park. There's something for everyone at Bays Mountain Park. Whether you're an outdoor enthusiast or simply looking to get away and relax, Bays Mountain Park in Kingsport, Tennessee is the perfect destination. For only $4 per vehicle, enjoy 3,500 acres of breathtaking scenery, featuring 40 miles of hiking trails, wildlife habitats, one of the Southeast's premier planetariums, and much, much more. For more information, please visit www.baysmountain.com or call us at 423-229-9447. Bays Mountain Park, one of the Tri-City's best places for learning, leisure, and recreation.
And we're back with the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thanks for being with us again on this Wednesday, March the 8th, 2017. Let's take a look at the National Basketball Association. Only 3 games on tap last night, but what a threesome there was. Wow, let's start in Oklahoma City. Whoo-hoo. Man, the Thunder losing 126 to 121. Russell Westbrook, a career-high 58 points to beat the Oklahoma City Thunder 126-21. The Trailblazers had to overcome a 58-point night by Russell Westbrook. Wow, 21 out of 29 from the floor. Entered the game as the league leader in points. Westbrook also finished the game with 9 assists and made 13 out of 16 free throws. I mean, this guy had a game of games, but again, they lose. It's a game, or rather team concept, of course, and so he pours in 58, but Oklahoma City loses the ball game 126-121 to Portland last night in Oklahoma City. Other finals, Dallas beat the Lakers 122-111. Lakers are 19-45. Magic Johnson, who was recently named the president of that team, has got some work to do. Wow. So, also in that same game, Dirk Nowitzki scored the 20 points he needed for 30,000 in his career. He is the 6th player in NBA history and the first international player to reach the milestone of 30,000 points. Obviously, he has himself a place in the Basketball Hall of Fame, I would think. No question. Dirk Nowitzki, 20 points last night, now goes over 30,000 in his career. And again, the first international player to do that, I guarantee it's going to get him in the Hall of Fame for that reason alone. Plus, the guy can play. And the 6th player in NBA history to go over 30,000 points in his career. Dallas wins over the Lakers 122-111, and Washington beat Phoenix in a shootout 131-127. We're live here again at Chick-Fil-A The Crossings in North Johnson City. Again on this Wednesday, we thank you for being with us. Here's the schedule tonight. My boys are playing the San Antonio Spurs at home against Sacramento. Should be a pretty good ball game. Spurs, again, going in as a 49-13 record, have already clinched a playoff spot for San Antonio already. We're just in March. That's the kind of year they're having. Spurs are in. Golden State's already clinched a playoff spot. They're in. Other games tonight, the Bulls will be in Orlando. Brooklyn and Atlanta to battle the Hawks. Miami hosting Charlotte. The Pistons will be in Indiana. The L.A. Clippers of Minnesota tonight to battle the Timberwolves. The Knickerbockers in Milwaukee. Toronto and New Orleans. Utah, the Jazz in Houston to take on the Rockets. As we said, San Antonio hosting Sacramento. Denver home to Washington. And the Boston Celtics get to take on Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors tonight on the left coast in a 10:30 tip-off time in California on the left coast. So should be a lot of fun in the NBA. But again, Dirk Nowitzki goes over the 30,000-point career in his career last night. And Russell Westbrook, a career-high 58 points. And again, Oklahoma City still loses that game last night. So again, it goes back to it is a team concept, folks. Is what it's all about. And so big win for Portland, but a big individual night, obviously, for Russell Westbrook. Tom Taylor Sports Show, again, thanks for being with us. We are live at Chick-Fil-A The Crossings in North Johnson City. Again, telling you about that grilled market salad. It's kind of what I'm going to focus on today. Sliced grilled chicken breast. Whew, yeah. Served on a fresh bed of chopped romaine lettuce and baby greens, topped with shredded red cabbage and carrots, crumbled blue cheese, and a mix of red and green apples, strawberries, and blueberries made fresh every day. Served with harvest nut granola, roasted nut blend, and zesty apple cider vinaigrette. Again, the calories, only 320. Calories from fat, only 130. And again, if you're looking for trans fat, 0 grams. Saturated fat, only 3 grams. So it's the way to go. It's one of the great salads. They have the Cobb salad, the grilled market salad. That's kind of my favorite. It's got the strawberries and blueberries on it, along with the mix of red and green apples. So good stuff. And it's all right here again at Chick-fil-A at the Crossings in North Johnson City. 11:34. Again, we're live here at Chick-fil-A. Again, reminding you tomorrow we're going to be on the road at Champion Chevrolet right down the road here in Johnson City. Friday we'll take our first stop in the month of March at a Food City. We'll be at Food City in Boones Creek on a Food City Friday. Looking forward very much to hanging out again in Food City in Boones Creek on Friday rather. So that's going to be a lot of fun, and we will have a blast there as we have a blast everywhere we go. No question about that. Also want to remind you that we will give you a chance to get tickets starting on Monday. To qualify to win tickets through the website, TomTotaSports.com. We would encourage you to, again, get ready to do that. We're going to be looking for a name and an email address. That's all we're looking for, and the city in which you live. We'll give you all the details coming up on probably tomorrow or even Friday. We'll get it ready to go, but we're going to get you qualified to win tickets to go to the world's fastest half mile, 42 days out. Of course, this week's stop will be in the Cobalt Tools 400 and a big weekend of racing in Las Vegas. We'll start zeroing in on that. We'll have Pat Patterson on later on this week on the show from the Performance Racing Network, and also working on getting Bob Pockers back on from ESPN. And so we have those folks very much lined up and ready to go. Top of the hour, we got our man getting ready to come up here in just a little while, Greg Salyer, again with our Major League Baseball update. It's going to be a lot of fun to talk to him, and so that's coming up here in just a little while. Also, you know who else is coming? Our buddy Dave Angie, the man we call Thud. He's going to be with us again coming up here at the 12:30 mark of the show as well. Let's take a look at some pro football news while we got a chance here. We're live at Chick-fil-A at the Crossings in North Johnson City with less than 48 hours to go now until NFL free agency kicks off. Looks like Adrian Peterson has narrowed his list of teams he wants to play for. The two teams at the top of Peterson's free agency list are the Seattle Seahawks and the Raiders. The Raiders, my boys. He would also be interested in playing for the Patriots, but not sure if they're even interested in him. Peterson's dad confirmed to a newspaper, the St. Paul Pioneer newspaper in Minnesota, that the Raiders and the Seahawks would likely be his top two choices if he doesn't hear from New England. Well, at 31 years old, Peterson already kind of ancient for a running back in the NFL, which is why it makes sense that he only seems to be looking for a couple of things in free agency. He wants to play for a team with a strong offensive line and wants to play for a contender. Obviously, the Raiders fill that bill both ways. The Raiders definitely check both of those boxes, especially as they're coming off their first playoff game in 14 years. So Adrian Peterson wants to go for the Raiders or the Seahawks, and an outside shot, as we said, of going to play for the New England Patriots. Of course, I don't know if they've even contacted him or not. Speaking of the Raiders, with the Bank of America on board as far as financing now, the Raiders Stadium project in Las Vegas, NFL finally seems sold on letting the team move to Southern Nevada. According to sources, the league's joint committee is expected to recommend the Raiders' relocation proposal to the NFL's 32 owners when they get together later this month. And so that'll be happening in Phoenix. The recommendation would pave the way for a vote to be taken at the meeting. And if that happens, out of the 32 owners, the Raiders just need a yes vote from 24 of the NFL's 32 owners to secure the move to Las Vegas. Unlike last year, the Raiders have two good things and big things going for them. They're not competing with any other teams to get to Vegas like they were going to L.A. And they have a $750 million check in the pot for public funding waiting for them in Las Vegas. It would be, according to these sources, a huge surprise to see the league's 32 owners vote down a plan that involves $750 million in free money. Like, are you kidding me? How dumb could you be to turn that away? So, anyway, we'll see. The Raiders are ready to go. Now, Libby Schaaf, the mayor of Oakland, had just gotten done Monday. On Monday, she had just gotten done making a proposal to the NFL on a move to keep the Raiders in Oakland. Well, you know, to be honest with you, if I'm Mark Davis, I'm thinking, okay, we're worried for the last year and a half. We kept asking, we'd like to get a deal set to keep the Raiders at the Coliseum in Oakland, provided you upgrade the facility. Kept asking, got nothing. And then we start going out, and I keep saying we as if I'm Mark Davis, we start going out to look at other options. San Antonio was one, Los Angeles was one, and certainly Las Vegas now is a big one. And so now you come back with a proposal and say, hey, don't go now. I think we can work out something. Mark Davis already put down some money to make his commitment to go to the Southern Nevada Desert to play in Las Vegas. So it looks like to me, if the owners vote that in, they're out. And that's really Oakland's fault to a point. They should have jumped on board a little bit earlier and made sure that, they let the Raiders know they were wanted. So if the Raiders are approved for relocation later this month, don't look for them to move right away. The Raiders signed a new lease with Oakland in March of last year that includes team options for both this year and next year, meaning the Raiders can stay in Oakland for this season and next season if they think that makes sense. So as of right now, owner Mark Davis plans to play out the team's lease in Oakland. He says, we want to bring a Super Bowl championship back to the Bay Area before we leave to go to Las Vegas. So the Vegas Stadium is expected to open in 2020. The Raiders will need to find a place to play for the 2019 season, Bristol Motor Speedway, if they end up getting approved for relocation. And so the Raiders, again, one other obstacle could be the relocation fee. According to the LA Daily News, the fee could end up being as high as $300 million for the Raiders to pony up to, say, the relocation fee to go to Las Vegas. But again, Bank of America has come on board and said we're going to support the move financially. So I think they're okay, and they're ready to move forward, and so are the Raiders. It is time-wise 11:40. We're live here at Chick-Fil-A The Crossings, North Johnson City. Greg Salyer joins us coming up at the top of the hour. If you're a coach and you are interested in learning about strength and conditioning for football and Olympic sports, there's a event coming up on Saturday, March 25th at Science Hill here in Johnson City. It's the Watauga Orthopedic Science Hill and the Center of Excellence for Sports Science and Coach Education, presenting the strength and conditioning for football and Olympic sports. There's going to be Stacy Carter's involved. Coach Carter's going to be there. Also Graham Clark's involved. Greg Cross is involved. Charlie Connor. North Dakota State Football Strength and Conditioning Program, Jim Kramer. From the Jacksonville Jaguars Strength and Conditioning Approach by Tom Mislinski. So there's some who's coming in. Meg Stone, the Center of Excellence for Sports Science and Coach Education Director, is going to be there. So this is a strength and conditioning clinic, if you will. It'll go from 8 to 4:30 all day Saturday, March the 25th. If you are interested, they're asking you to register online. I'm trying to see where of course, Chick-fil-A right here, the Johnson City Crossing part of this event. And I'm trying to see how I guess you would call, looking here, I don't know, I guess you would call Science Hill High School. It says register online, but they don't give you a place to register. So I guess if you want more information, call Science Hill High or call Watauga Orthopedics and say you're interested in going to this event. It's coming up on Saturday, March 25th, 2 weeks from Saturday. It's an all-day clinic at Science Hill High School, and that would be from, as we said, 8 until 4:30 on Saturday. Tom Taylor Sports Show, again, thanks for being with us at 11:42. We've got basketball starting up, as we said, coming up here in just a few minutes, and we'll keep you posted. Let's run down who's going to be playing here while we're on the air today. At noon, Syracuse and Miami in the ACC. That'll crank up at 12 o'clock. Also, you have a little bit later on, you've got, let's see here, Coastal Carolina and South Alabama at 12:30 in the Sun Belt Conference. That's their opening game. And let's see, I was trying to see who else is going to be playing here in the basketball. Everything else really starts later on today. And coming up at 12:30 in the Conference USA tournament in Birmingham, will be Western Kentucky, the Hilltoppers, and University of Texas at San Antonio. So those are some of the games cranking up here right around the top of the hour, and we will keep tabs on those for you throughout the afternoon until we get leave here at 1 o'clock. We want to say thanks to Appalachian Digital. Oh, me, oh, my. How do I ever say thanks to Jeremiah Clark and Michael Smith? They've done a phenomenal job, and we can't thank them enough for what they've done for this show and to get this thing ready in a short period of time and take it to the next level. And we're just beginning. We're incorporating something brand new we're about to play for you here in just a second. I'm anxious to see how it's going to go. Video, Chase Elliott, again from Atlanta on Sunday, again finishing, fifth in the race. And so we're going to hear from Chase Elliott coming up here in just a second via video. We've been doing audio up to this point, and now we've expanded the video, all thanks to Appalachian Digital. And I want to say thanks to Jeremiah Clark and Michael Smith, and so couldn't do without them. Check out their website, folks. They are two great guys based here in the Tri-Cities and doing a phenomenal job. Again, AppalachianDigital.com. Please check out that website, and they can help you like they've helped me. They've done a tremendous job. I could not be where I'm at as far as the growth of this show without those guys. I'm telling you, there's other people involved, but clearly over the last 3 or 4 weeks, it's been Jeremiah Clark and Michael Smith and Appalachian Digital, for which I'm forever grateful. So check them out. Good folks. And again, they can work with you. If you have a budget, big budget, small budget, if you're a big company, small company, just need some marketing help, I mean, these are the guys. These are the dudes, man. They can get it done. Get her done. And so everything you're seeing here on the screen on Facebook Live is a direct result of Jeremiah Clark and Michael Smith from AppalachianDigital.com. He says I've been calling him Jeremiah Castle. I don't know why, but Jeremiah Clark. Super guy, great guy, and they do a phenomenal job. So having said all that, let's try this. I want to see how this rolls. Here is our first one. Here is our very first. Here's Chase Elliott. Check it out on video on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
Yeah, I just had a good car and was able to stay on the lead lap, and we caught a caution at the right time to kind of bunch everybody back up. Had a good pit stop, jumped 3 or 4 guys on pit road, had a good restart, and I think the outside lane got stacked up, so we were back up in 5th, and then luckily just kind of right back in the game. So a little bit of luck, a little bit of good pit stops, and kind of worked out. Just didn't work out when it counted.
Kind of a trial balloon. It looked like it worked for me, so good stuff. Again, Chase Elliott. So that's the beginning of some big things coming here on the show. Not only are we going to give you audio, but obviously we're going to give you video and lots of it. And of course, as we get closer to racing at Bristol Motor Speedway, you be ready for that, because we're really going to give you a lot of video between now and then. And so we're very, very excited about that. And not just NASCAR. We've got other outlets to get video as well. So very exciting. Thank you again. This is a direct result of Jeremiah Clark. Thank you again, AppalachianDigital.com. Tom Taylor Sports Show. Don't forget, coming up on Monday, audio only, but audio nonetheless. We've got for you Elizabethton Cyclone Baseball coming up Monday, the lid lifter of the 2017 season. Haven't called baseball for a while. Getting excited to get back behind the mic and here on Facebook and bring the Elizabethton Cyclones and Unicoi County Blue Devils to you from O'Brien Field in the cozy confines of Elizabethton, Tennessee. Can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun. So we'll be there again on Monday, getting ready for first pitch and bringing you Elizabethton Cyclone Baseball against the Unicoi County Blue Devils. Saw Elizabethton scrimmage the other day. They beat Crockett 14-2. They were putting one on them. And they've got a great pitching staff at Elizabethton, so should be a great year for Ryan Presnell and the Elizabethton Cyclone Baseball team. And we're looking very much forward to being part of that starting this coming Monday. And, you know, Coach Presnell and I were joking about this the other day. He said, well, when we get ready to start playing baseball with all this beautiful weather, it'll turn cold and rainy and snowy. He was right. Spoke too soon, because they're calling for some rain and possibly snow coming up here in our neck of the woods, if you will, again, the first part of the week. But I don't see it doing a whole lot, other than maybe up in the mountains, certainly. But here in the Tri-Cities, you know, here's an old weather thing. When the ground is as warm as it's been, it's kind of tough to have snow stick when it's been as warm. You know, we're talking 60s all the way through the week. So when the snow does come, the ground's warming up. It's and the roads too, for that matter. It's going to take a lot for it, I would think, to stick. So we are going to get some snow. We are going to have baseball though on Monday in Elizabethton at O'Brien Field. It'll be the Cyclones and the Unicoi County Blue Devils, 2 front runners in that conference. And so you're talking about coming out of the gate in a big-time way. You open up with Unicoi County, a perennial powerhouse in baseball in East Tennessee, on your home field. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be there on Monday and bring you the action from Elizabethton Cyclone O'Brien Field, Cyclone Pride, as we call it. Quick break. We'll be right back. We're here again at Chick-Fil-A. It's 11:47. Greg Salyer joins us coming up here in a few minutes, and we're looking forward to having him on the show talking Major League Baseball. We'll do that right after this from Chick-fil-A at the Crossings, North Johnson City. You're watching, listening to Facebook Live on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
Any day is a good day to get a tray from Chick-fil-A. Over 10 to choose from. Perfect for having the gang over to watch the big game, birthday parties, church get-togethers, backyard gatherings, everything from fruit trays to garden salad trays to nuggets and chicken strip trays. And for the sweet tooth, try the cinnamon cluster or chocolate chunk cookie tray. So you see, any day is a good day to get a tray from Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A at the Crossings in North Johnson City.
At American Import Auto Repair in Johnson City, one of the 8 areas of your vehicle that takes constant continuing education is the air conditioner on your vehicle.
Well, you would think that AC would be a simple one, but it's getting to be a lot bigger than just AC. It's the management of the system, not just AC, but heat and everything. It's a lot more computer controlled than it used to be. It used to be just a little button on the dash that you pushed. Now there's all kinds of electronics involved in that. Braking systems used to be fairly simple. Now some of the newer vehicles, you have to have a computer to actually operate the braking system to make sure that it's okay after you've worked on it. Computer controlled of the engine is becoming very important. There's a lot to that. Each one of these areas, the technology has just tripled and quadrupled in the last few years. It's hard to keep up. You really need to stay in the books and know what's going on with them.
American Import Auto Repair, Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
Your life is always changing. You never know what shape it will take, or how your financial needs might change. But if we talk about your investments and how they can provide for you and your family, the future becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thanks for being with us. We thank you so very much at 11:52 to be with us on this Wednesday, Hump Day, over the hump and through the woods. And, when it's Hump Day, that means we're at Chick-fil-A, the Crossings in North Johnson City. We told you earlier about the grilled market salad. Let me tell you about the Cobb salad. Woo-hoo. Again, you're talking about a good salad. These salads are made fresh every day. Chick-fil-A nuggets, pressure cooked, sliced and served hot on a fresh bed of chopped romaine lettuce and baby greens topped with shredded red cabbage, roasted corn kernels, a blend of shredded Monterey Jack and cheddar cheeses, crumbled bacon, diced eggs, and grape maters made fresh daily, served with charred tomato crispy red bell peppers and avocado lime ranch dressing. And this is out of this world. Again, only 500 calories on this particular salad at Chick-fil-A. And then the other one we talked about the market salad, also the spicy Southwest salad. This is slices of grilled spicy chicken breast, chilled and served on a fresh bed of chopped romaine lettuce and baby greens. Again, this has a blend of Monterey Jack and cheddar cheeses and a zesty combination of roasted corn and black beans, made fresh daily, served with seasoned tortilla chips, also creamy salsa dressing, and only 420 calories of this particular salad. So there's 3 to choose from: the Cobb, the grilled market, and the spicy Southwest salad. And I've been watching here in the counter. They've been selling a lot of salads here already here on this Wednesday. at Chick-Fil-A, as we said, at the crossings in North Johnson City. College football, let's take a look and see what's happening in college football. Again, Tennessee losing 2 more players. Demaria Mixon, defensive lineman, and offensive lineman Charles Mosley no longer with the Tennessee football program. Tennessee Athletic Department spokesman Ryan Robinson said Mixon and Mosley remain enrolled in school but are not on the football team anymore. Robinson did not specify a reason for the departures. Mixon played 12 games for Tennessee as a reserve tackle last season, had 8 tackles, 2 for loss, and a sack. Played 12 games in 2014, so he's gone. Mosley played 4 games in a reserve role as a sophomore last season. He played 12 games in 2015 as a backup left guard. So, again, 2 guys off the Tennessee football team. It is Demaria Mixon, defensive lineman, and Charles Mosley no longer with the Tennessee football program. So that's what's going on there for Tennessee football. Let's see what else is happening. Some more rule changes being proposed by the NCAA Rules Football Committee. These are not final yet. They got to be approved, but here are some of the suggestions that are being proposed. First, horse collar tackles now include the nameplate area of a jersey. That would also include a horse collar tackle is to tackle someone up around by the jersey, the name of the jersey, the nameplate area of the jersey, as they say. Knee pads and pants must cover the knees. This is currently only a strong recommendation, so going forward they're going to recommend knee pads and pants cover the knees. And also players will be penalized for running towards the line of scrimmage and leaping and hurdling offensive linemen on field goal tries and point afters. This is already a no-no, but the clarification is that the hurdling player doesn't have to land on the opposing player to be penalized. So that's what's been the penalty to this point. So if you take off run, try and block a field goal or point after, and well, first off, you can't do it. Now you could, as long as you don't land on the other team's players, and now you can't even do it at all. So they're recommending. 2 other rule changes being proposed for college football for next year. Coaches taking to the field to protest a call will be penalized. Now, there's been a lot of discussion about coaches going out on the field, throwing down the headset, screaming at officials, and on basketball you get a technical foul, obviously, if your conduct merits that. Well, here are 2 proposals. They're calling it sideline management. Coaches taking to the field to protest a call will be penalized. The second half, and the other one is the second half will start immediately after the halftime clock hits 0. Additionally, the game clock will wind consistently after the ball has been spotted when a player runs out of bounds. It's a little confusing. But coaches taking to the field to protest a call will be penalized. I think that's a good thing. Players running towards the line of scrimmage and leaping or hurling offensive linemen on field goal attempts and point afters is going to be a no-no if it is approved. These are being proposed. Nothing definite, but again being proposed for the upcoming college football season. So we'll see. I've got my thoughts on those, but it is what it is. Tom Taylor Sports Show. Again, thanks for being with us. Live again at Chick-Fil-A at 11:57, almost at the top of the hour. Greg Sauer due to join us here talking Major League Baseball coming up here in just a few minutes. If you're looking for tickets to Bristol Motor Speedway, here's the place you can get them. Again, call 1-866-415-4158 or go to BristolTixTix.com or locally call 423-BRISTOL or stop by the Bruin Smith building and get your season tickets. They're there, and a season ticket for starting at $149 gets you tickets to the spring package race weekend coming up in about 42 days, and also the night race weekend, of which I've got to add on the Bass Pro Shop NRA night race. And so, again, season tickets for adults starting at only $149, and season tickets for the kids for the 2 races, obviously $10 in the spring and $10 in the fall. You have a whopping $20 for kids tickets. Again, the Food City 500 kids 12 and under get in for $10. The the Bass Pro Shop NRA night race kids also get in for only $10. So you have season tickets for adults starting at $149 for both weekends of racing. And again, the kids 12 and under season tickets are just $20, 10 for the spring race and 10 for the fall race. And so you really can't beat it. 423 Bristol. BristolTixTix.com, or call if you're out of the area watching us today, and a lot of you are, 1-866-415-4158. Hello to Chip Pratt and Dave Martin and the guys in Cincinnati, Ohio. Hello, Chip. He's one of the good guys. We appreciate him very much, and he listens every chance he gets, and he listens and watches a lot, and we appreciate that very much. So hello to Chip Pratt in Cincinnati, Ohio. Also, Mary Ellen Malone, hello to you in Charleston, West Virginia, watching. Also want to say hello to, who else can we say hello to this morning? First, say hello to Nick Brown. Want to say hello to Nick. Also, hello to the Gator Man at Cherokee Barbershop. And we certainly appreciate him and all the good things he does at Cherokee Barbershop. As he is open today, he's been out sick for the last couple of days, and now he's back in the saddle and working hard, and we appreciate him. In Executive Park South, again, the South Rome Street here in Johnson City, right down from Tipton Haynes working for him. When the barber pole's out, the Gator Man's in, and so we want to say hello to the Gator Man this morning. And also, Max Medicine Mart, one of our great sponsors. At Max, make tracks to Max, and you do. And at Max Medicine Mart, again, right now, the Now product line for the month of March, everything Now, capital N-O-W, is on sale. Again, at Max Medicine Mart at 20% off. We're going to be talking to Dr. Walton either tomorrow or Friday on the show. Tomorrow, Champion Chevrolet, again, on the Bristol Highway Motor Mile here in Johnson City. And then on Friday, we'll be at Food City in Boones Creek. So that's what's going on again for the next couple of days. And we're looking forward to it. And of course, Monday, back in the saddle in the lobby of the Bruton Smith Building at Bristol Motor Speedway. All right, we'll take a break, come right back. We're waiting on Greg to talk a little baseball. And we've got a story that's pretty cool about the Little League World Series coming up. We'll take a look at that and also rerun for you what's going on in college basketball as the tournaments start back up here again on this Wednesday afternoon as we're live here at Chick-Fil-A at the Crossings in North Johnson City. One more thing I want to tell you about before we take a break. If you're a lady and you want to know more about your vehicle, here's a chance to do that. It's a free ladies car care clinic coming up on Saturday, 2 weeks from Saturday, March the 25th at 1 o'clock at American Import and Auto Repair between Johnson City and Jonesboro, again on West Market Street in Johnson City. Ladies, you'll learn things like how to change a flat tire, how to avoid changing a flat tire if at all possible, what to look for under your hood. You pop the hood and see all these wires and knobs and buttons, and so you'll know what to look for under your hood, the safe way to jumpstart your vehicle. Remember, my mother was alive. My father passed away back up home, and so she had to all of a sudden get thrown into taking care of a car and didn't have a clue what some of the stuff was, so she went to one of those herself back in the day. So there's a free ladies car care clinic going on, the safe way to jumpstart your vehicle, how to prevent the 5 most common mistakes that could cost you big time, and also they have drinks and snacks. And again, the phone number is 913-3111. It's coming up on Saturday, March 25th at 1 o'clock. So if you're looking, ladies, for ways to stay safe, save money, learn more about your car, your truck, your SUV, whatever you're driving, this is a free event, limited seating. Give them a call. This is for ladies only. The number is 913-3111, and they'll hold your spot. It's 2 weeks from Saturday, again at 1 o'clock, a free ladies car care clinic at American Import and Auto Repair, and again, between Johnson City and Jonesboro on West Market Street. Hour number 1 in the books. We'll take a break. We'll come right back. We've got him in the saddle. We'll get him on camera. He's purdy. He's Greg Salyer. We're talking Major League. That's what Wendy thinks. Major League Baseball update is next here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show as we're at the top of the hour. And you at 12:02 from Facebook Live, you are watching the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City takes care of both male and female customers, but owner Kim Smith says they have a special care and concern for ladies.
Being a female in what's considered a man's business, I understand the trepidation that women may have when they come to the shop. They feel like they don't know about cars, they might be intimidated, but that's not the way we do business. Everybody's treated the same. We take the time to explain anything that they have questions about, the repair, the process, the part. We want to make sure people are comfortable with what we're going to do to their vehicle and that they understand. We do cater to women in a sense. We have a real nice waiting room with nice Keurig coffee and flavored creamers, air-conditioned, cushioned seats, TV, everything a girl could want while she waits for her car to be fixed.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111. At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, they treat thousands of patients each year dealing with diabetes and its effects. Diabetes overtaking our nation and leaving a path of destruction behind. Through wound care, office visits, and preventive care, they see most of the patients after a problem arises. Using diabetic footwear such as shoes and inserts, a great way to prevent or prolong skin breakdown and amputation. At Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, They use only custom molds from patient mold inserts, which further ensure a great recovery, or better yet, prevents a wound from happening. They use custom molded shoes, bracing, custom inserts, and extra depth diabetic shoes to prevent wounds or other skin issues from beginning. Call today, 1-800-524-4447. 39 years, 6 locations, 1 family. Bristol Orthotics and Prosthetics, 1-800-524-4447. If you're catching some waves or just playing in the yard, it is important to protect yourself. You may not feel the sun's heat, but UV rays can still damage your skin even in cloudy weather. Blue Lizard Sunscreen, recommended by pharmacists and dermatologists nationwide. Our SPF 30-plus formulations use only the highest quality ingredients for broad spectrum protection. As a reminder to protect yourself, our bottle turns blue when UV light is present. Blue Lizard, we've got you covered.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
And we're back with the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thanks for being with us. Again, we are here live. Let's see, me make sure you're on and talk to me.
Hey, am I there?
There he is. You're on headset 1. I'm on headset 2. And he is Greg Salyer. Let's get him up on screen, ready to roll here. Let everybody know that he is our guest. And you got to get over where we can see. I don't know how we're going to do it. Let's see. Let's swing this around right like that. There we go. Look there. Purdy is a Georgia peach. There you go. I'm not supposed to say it about a guy. It just doesn't sound right.
That's twice you've said that about me today. I don't know if guys ever said that about me before. I may slide over a little bit this way now. I don't know.
Oh, I love this guy. I ain't never been told that before, Tom. So I'm
yeah,
a little nervous.
I don't think
we're all right.
Don't think a guy's ever called me pretty before today.
Well, your wife calls you pretty, and I just hear that. And she calls you handsome and pretty. So anyway, he's here. We're live at Chick-Fil-A, The Crossings in North Johnson City, and we're talking baseball, of course. And Greg's with us here. And let's see. I think I want to get you a little closer to the screen because the old backdrop's kind of washing you out. Let's see.
Yeah, it is. There we go.
Let's see if we can get it.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go. Best we can do. So take it away, my friend. What's going on in Major League Baseball? Getting ever so close. I know Norris had a good outing on Sunday. Had a pretty good outing for the Tigers and went 3 strong innings. And so that's good to see that he has to have a good outing for his second outing out. First Tiger pitcher to go 3 innings, and they lose 8-5. I think he threw 42 pitches, had a walk, a strikeout, and gave up a hit. So pretty solid performance for Daniel Norris. Only had 7 pitches in the first inning. So that's what you want in that second start, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I don't think he would complain at all about that second start. I think that's exactly what he wanted to see. I think that's what the Tigers wanted to see. I think they're excited about where he's going to be this year. He's probably going to be, I guess, their number 4 starter. And, so I think that's just an improvement for him because, last year we were talking about him kind of fighting for that 5th spot. And he's going to be, I think, a solid number 4 this year. And I think in years to come, he's just going to continue to move up the ladder.
Yeah, so big outing for him. Of course, I guess, I'm not sure it's not a 5-day rotation in spring training. Theoretically, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. You either see him Friday or Saturday again. I don't know whether they're into that rotation in spring training because they're using a lot of guys and moving a lot of pieces around. But theoretically, he should have his next assignment coming up Friday or Saturday.
Yeah, he should. It may be a day or two beyond that. This early, still in spring training, but look forward to seeing Daniel pitch again probably early part of, I'd say Monday or Tuesday of next week.
Talking to Greg Salyer, Major League Baseball updates. You can see on the screen here, we're live at Chick-fil-A. It is lunchtime, and need we say more? It's busy, but here's the thing about Chick-fil-A. And I've been to a lot of restaurants, and this one in particular, they get them in and get them out. You ain't standing around very long, either in the lobby or if you're sitting in the vehicle in the drive-thru. You're not there long. They get you in, get you out. So, you hear it's crowded. Yes, it is, but that doesn't really stop this bunch. They really move you very quickly, again, whether you're in drive-thru or here in the lobby. So you are going to break down here in a few minutes the National League East. You've broken down every division so far, and so we'll do the NL East coming up here in a few minutes. What's some other news? What's some other notes going on in baseball? Is it quiet right now? Is there lots going on?
There's actually a lot going on right now, and I did want to say I wanted to appreciate what you said about the Reds last week, because they lost on Wednesday, but they've not lost since then.
There you go.
After how down you were on them, so they're now 5-6 in spring training. They started out 0-6, but now they're 5-6. So I'll take it at this point.
At this point, he's trying to say in a nice way, get off my back, get off the Reds' back. They're doing okay. They're getting things turned around, and they are. They're in a youth movement, obviously. So, and hey, let's face it, as bad as they've been the last couple of years, in all seriousness, all they can go is but up. It can't get much worse. I guess it can. We're not going to think that way. So
it could, but
they're playing some pretty solid baseball right now.
They are. One of the issues they had, and I think this was good news, that Anthony DeSclafani was only set back a few days with elbow soreness, and that was a big scare, because I was really worried about that he would not be ready, and he's probably still not going to be ready for opening day. For the second year in a row, he was supposed to be the opening day pitcher, and he probably will not be ready to start on opening day. But it's not going to be June like it was last year, and that was good news, because when they were talking about elbow soreness for him, a lot of people were getting really worried. They picked up a waiver wire guy from the Braves, Christian Walker, and good hitter. They really like his bat. He's a first baseman, which kind of makes you scratch your head saying, well, where's he going to play? But they're going to play him all over the place right now. They're trying him out in the outfield, I believe. He's not there yet. They just picked him up yesterday. He's on his way from Florida to Arizona. But they're going to try him in the outfield, see how that goes, and possibly a bat off the bench for this season.
We're talking to Greg Salyer live at Chick-fil-A, 57 degrees at 12:11 with you to 1 o'clock. And I was looking down the line, we're talking baseball on Monday. We'll start our coverage. And, the coach told me, he said, when they start high school baseball, and you know this from playing when you were a younger guy, just, beautiful weather now. As soon as they say baseball starts here in East Tennessee, the weather goes south. Well, sure enough, Monday, 49 degrees is going to be the high, 32 that night. We've got our first game at Elizabeth in Unicoi County. Saturday and Sunday, 43 both days with rain and some snow in the higher elevations. Today we're looking for a high around 62, which we're inching that way. 67 tomorrow with sunshine, then things will start dropping, and then it's going to stay cool, looks like, all the way through next week in the 50s. Well, I say cool. 50s for your highs. We're spoiled. It's not going to be as warm as it is now. 50s for your highs, and looks like 20s and 30s for your lows. And hey, it is March. It is in East Tennessee, but our coverage starts again on Monday, Unicoi County and the Elizabethton Cyclones. We're carrying the Cyclones for you on Facebook Live, and you may want to come over and work a game for an inning or two.
Hey, we
Bryan Field.
We may try to do that. Yeah,
I think it'd be nice. Come over there and slide in the seat on a given game. Call a couple innings of Cyclone baseball with me. Didn't you do that last year?
We did. We called a Science Field
game?
Tennessee High game. Yeah, we did.
So you know firsthand from playing at Tennessee High that it could be beautiful weather. As soon as we say baseball starts, the weather gets cold and crummy, right?
Yeah, it'll snow. It'll do everything. You can imagine that. I think the coldest I've ever been in my life was at Sullivan South one night, and they just couldn't get us out. Nobody wanted to strike out, but it was so cold they couldn't field the ball for nothing. And I mean, we batted around like twice one inning, I think, and it was miserable. I mean, you're trying to hit a ground ball to the shortstop, so he can maybe turn a double play, and he boots it, and it goes into left field, and you score a couple runs, but. It is what it is, and I'll never forget that, though. I think that was absolutely the coldest I've ever been in my life.
Now, back in the day, were you wooden bat or aluminum bat?
No, it was aluminum bats.
Aluminums? Okay.
Yeah.
See, I'm old. We did wooden bats.
Yeah, no, I'm not that old, so.
I see, there's a smack back to me. He got on me about the Reds. He got on me because I said the guy's handsome, and now he's back on me because, I'm not that old. But I tell you what, you talking about something that hurt. Maybe,
Yeah.
I don't know about aluminum, but a wooden bat. When you hit a wooden bat and
Aluminum's no different. Let me tell
man,
you, when
you
it's
come-
cold, yes.
Oh, even with batting gloves, man, I'll tell you what, it can just run. I don't know, runs. Pain shoots up and down your hands when you hit a ball with a wooden bat in cold weather or aluminum bat. But it is what it is. These kids are a lot tougher than you and I are now than back in the day. So they'll be okay. But baseball starts on Monday. Again, Elizabeth and baseball right here on Facebook Live with the Tom Taylor Sports Show. We're talking to Greg Salyer. We're live at Chick-Fil-A, the Crossings in North Johnson City. And so what else is going on? What's some other news you want to tell us about?
World Baseball Classic. Let's talk about that for just a minute. You know, it started now. 4 pools, and there's already 2 teams that have moved into the second round, and that is Israel and the Netherlands. Which I was excited about that. Because they're in in Pool A with Korea and Chinese Taipei, and Korea, they play good baseball over there. So to think that Israel, who is in it for the first time, and the Netherlands can pull away and win, both of them win their first 2 games, that was big. So they've already moved on. So that took place over in Seoul, Korea. And the U.S. starts tomorrow. They have their first game tomorrow, and excited about that. Some of these guys we don't get to see play any other time than now, and they get to play with some of the major league stars. So it's a great opportunity to see some good baseball. You have to get up early for some of these games. Some of them are on at like 5 in the morning and things like that. But it's exciting time, and look forward to what we're going to see in the World Baseball Classic this year.
So there is the American team. Now, is the American team comprised of pro players, college players? Who's on the American team?
It's actually some of both, but mostly it's pro players. Most of them are names that we would be familiar with. And the other teams are the same way. Dominican Republic is a powerhouse. I mean, if you think about the guys from the Dominican Republic that are in the major leagues, well, they're pretty proud of their country, and they go back and play. And even the Netherlands, I mean, the way they won that game this morning, Jurickson Profar with a walk to drive in the winning run and so they could move along to round 2. I think that was big. But a name like Jurickson Profar playing for the Netherlands, which you don't really think about a lot of guys from the Netherlands playing Major League Baseball.
So the Major League Baseball teams, okay, you're on the Reds and you're going back to play for Israel, let's say. Does that get the blessing of the Reds in Major League Baseball, or do they frown upon that, wish you didn't? How does that work?
It depends.
Okay.
It depends.
Team by team?
Yeah, team by team, player by player. Even if you have even the slightest chance of an injury issue, then the team's not going to want you to do it. And and there were teams that said, hey, we'd rather our players not do this. There were some players who said, no, I'm not going to play just because I need to concentrate on getting ready for the regular season. And you got to respect the wishes of both the teams and the players there.
Let's bring you up today one of the scores getting started. The ACC basketball tournament. Miami leads Syracuse 12-9 in the first quarter. Clemson and Duke will start at 2 o'clock today. Then everything else gets a little bit later on, so we'll keep you up to date with the Canes and the Qs, if you will, playing in the ACC tournament in the second round in New York City of college basketball. Of course, tomorrow, even more. Tennessee will crank it up tomorrow at 1 o'clock, taking on the Georgia Bulldogs, the Bridgestone Arena in Nashville. The winner of that one gets the dubious task of taking on the Kentucky Wildcats on Friday. So Tennessee, with a late kind of flop, taking on Georgia. I understand their coach Fox is in the hot seat in Georgia. Missouri's already removed Kim Anderson from their coaching sideline. They've got an interim coach there as they'll play later on this evening. So the coaching carousel has begun in college basketball, and I think East Tennessee State kind of knew that. They went out and ponied up some more cash for Steve Forbes to keep him happy. How would you like to come July 1st just walk into the old building and say, by virtue of walking in, we're going to write you a check for $150,000 just to hang around July 1st? Be all right, wouldn't it?
That'd be all right. Yeah.
That's what he got to keep all the curiosity seekers away from him and the possibility of moving on and coaching somewhere else. But that still doesn't guarantee anything, because North Carolina State actively looking for a coach, and so ETSU gives you $150, but if NC State walks in and says, hey, we'll flash $250 in front of you, I mean, what?
And there's precedent for an ETSU coach going to North Carolina State. Les Robinson.
Les Robinson.
Yeah.
So, and I read in the paper today where Forbes had over 300 emails from coaches all over the country coming off congratulatory after winning the Southern Conference. So you would have to think some of those may be ADs going, would you be interested, ... So stay tuned. But anyway, we're talking baseball with Greg Salyer, the Major League Baseball update. By the way, for watching you have to be watching online at Facebook Live, and our camera, it's a little dark here because of the backdrop of the Chick-Fil-A up against the window, but we're in process of getting a zippity-doo-dah camera with a lot more lighting, so this is a temporal thing. He's going to be really standing out here maybe next week if this camera gets in there we've ordered. So anyway, we appreciate him. Continue on, my friend. What else going on in Major League Baseball?
Well, let's break down the National League East. Let's talk about that. I think it's an interesting division. As I started looking at this division, breaking the teams down, I had to kind of think with my head more than my heart, because my heart was telling me one thing and my head was telling me something else with some of these teams. But I like the Nationals to win the division. I think they have the pitching. They have a great rotation with Max Scherzer. Gio Gonzalez is in that rotation as well. And I guess the question is, can Steven Strasburg stay healthy enough to pitch the whole season for them? That's a question mark. But you got to like that rotation. Dusty Baker definitely makes a difference. He's 67 years old now, but still a great manager, still a guy that you'd want in your dugout. They picked up Adam Eaton, and he was a good addition for center field for them, I think, and a good solid ball player. Trey Turner then actually gets to move to his normal position. He played center last year, and now he's going back to shortstop. So he will be going to shortstop. And, this kid's a real deal. I started looking at his numbers. I wasn't too sure about him until I really looked at his numbers, and he's the real deal. I think he's going to be an impact player for them this year. Hopefully he doesn't have that sophomore jinx hit him this year, but I think he's going to be solid. Of course, Bryce Harper's great, but I think even more important than Bryce Harper to this team is Daniel Murphy. He's got to have a good year, and he's shown that he can do that. He is definitely the clubhouse leader, I think, for this team. And I would say any of these other teams are going to be hard pressed to knock off the Nationals.
Now, Dusty Baker talking to Greg Salyer, our Major League Baseball update guru every week. He's been with us and will continue to be with us. That's awesome. Spring training about a third of the way through, I think. We're going to crank it up and get ready for opening day in the first portions of April. Dusty Baker's 67. We've talked about this earlier in the off season. Now's the time. He's got the money. He's got the players. He's got the money behind him up there as far as going out and getting who he wants. He's got to produce. Heat's on Dusty Baker, would you think?
Yeah, time's running out. Some of these guys have managed into their 70s and done well, but you got to think. There's going to come a time when it's going to get old. The travel's going to get old. Being away from the family's going to get old, and he's going to say, I'm done. So I think the time for the Nationals is now. They're going to have to win at this point, either this year or next year.
All right, so the Nationals, you got them number one. Number two, who you got?
I picked the New York Mets, number two. Struggled with this one a little bit, I'll be honest, but I think they have a great young rotation, but they're injury prone. These guys have got to stay healthy, especially their starting pitchers. Jacob deGrom has got to be healthy. Matt Harvey has got to be able to throw more games than he has the last couple of years. Even Syndergaard, they've been talking about having some arm issues, so that's a scare as well. So I love their rotation. Once again, injury-wise, David Wright is hurt. He's probably not going to play much at all. Jose Reyes is going to be their third baseman probably this year. I like their outfield. Yoenis Cespedes, Curtis Granderson, Jay Bruce, they can hit with any outfield in baseball. Those guys are phenomenal hitters, so I like them. Neil Walker's their second baseman. They picked him up from the Pirates a couple years ago. Good move for them. Good, solid player that they have there. Two keys, I think, for the Mets are guys that are not even going to start for them, and that is Wilmer Flores and Michael Conforto. These guys have shown that they are major league ready players. They've shown that they can play with anybody, but yet they really don't have a position with the Mets. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how much playing time these two guys get, and I think they're going to be contributors. I think that they're going to have a say-so in who wins this division.
If you're the New York Mets, there's been talk. We had Josh Lawson on a couple of weeks ago from the Kingsport Mets. There is talk that Tebow may be coming through here and staying for a little while. They don't know where they're going to put him because it's yet to be determined where he's going to, upon evaluation, be placed in the Mets organization. Obviously, he's putting fannies in the seats down in spring training. People want to be around this guy for what he represents and his Christian stand and the integrity and so on and so forth. End of the day, can he play in the big leagues? Can Tim Tebow play consistently day in, day out in Major League Baseball?
Tim Tebow is an athlete beyond most athletes. I mean, Tim Tebow has the ability to do that. I think. I don't think he's ready to do that. I will be surprised if he doesn't start the year maybe playing low A ball. They may send him to Kingsport for a little while in June when they get here. But I'll be surprised if he's not playing somewhere before then, maybe low A ball this year, and seeing what he can do. If he keeps hitting like he is now, like he's shown that he can hit, absolutely he will be Major League ready at 30 years of age, maybe next year. But don't know that he's quite ready for that yet. But give him a year or so, and I think we're going to see some drastic improvement. I mean, Tim Tebow is a very solid, as you said, very stand-up guy. He's not a guy that you're going to have to worry about getting in trouble or anything like that. And he's mature. He's 29 years old. He's not an 18-year-old coming out trying to do this. So he will do what he needs to do to make it happen, I think.
Thud's here. We're ready. Dave Onge's in the house, the Johnson City Press. He's going to join us coming up in a few minutes. We're live here at Chick-Fil-A. The Crossing is North Johnson City on Facebook Live. Yesterday, up over 2,000 views, I believe is what he told me. So it continues to grow. We're in number 474 as far as shows, and we've got a big 500th show party coming up with some giveaways, and that's 26 shows out. So you're talking 4 or 5 weeks out, but we've got a big show planned for our 500th party. And we'll talk more about that as we get a little bit closer. Starting Monday, giving you a chance here on Facebook to win tickets to Bristol Motor Speedway to get qualified for that. Nationals, the Mets. Who comes in third, the Marlins or the Braves? Who you got?
Yeah, I struggled with this one. I picked the Braves, and I really did. I struggled with this. They've got ancient pitching. They've got guys that they've signed to hold it down the fort as far as the rotation goes. R.A. Dickey, Bartolo Colon, Jaime Garcia. He's not old, but he is the guy that I think will stick around and make a difference there. Brandon Phillips is going to be a good second baseman until Ozzie Albies is ready from the minor leagues, and he's probably another year or so away. So good move to pick up Brandon Phillips there. Julio Teheran is still the number one starter. He's still the guy that they're going to rely on to get the ball on opening day. I'm anxious to see a full season of Dansby Swanson. I'm anxious to see what he can do over the course of a whole year. He showed last year that he belongs and he's ready to play. So, I'm anxious to see what he will do over an entire season. Freddie Freeman is still the man in Atlanta. They're going to win or lose based on Freddie Freeman a lot of times. But I like Matt Kemp being in the cleanup spot for them as well. So. The Braves are going to be good soon because here's what they did. They retooled their farm system. They went from having one of the worst farm systems in baseball to having one of the best. And I think that they're going to be ready soon. Not this year, maybe not the next year, but before long, the Braves are going to be back.
We're talking to our buddy, again, Greg Sire, talking Major League Baseball. Dave Onge joins us coming up in a few minutes with the Johnson City Press, talking a plethora of sports. All right, so you're down to, you've got, who's left, the Marlins or the Phillies? Which way are you going to go?
I'm going Marlins, number 4. I struggled with them. I wanted to pick them number 3, but I was just afraid that they don't have enough pitching. I'm afraid that after losing Jared Fernandez last year, or Jose Fernandez, excuse me, I'm afraid after losing him, that was just too much for this team. Even with the addition of Edinson Volquez, which I think was a good addition for them. I think he was a good pickup because they needed a good, solid starting pitcher. I still don't think that was enough. Now, in the minors, their top 5 prospects are all starting pitchers, and 13 out of their top 20 prospects are pitchers. So they've got the pitching.
They got the arms coming,
waiting to be there. They're just not quite there yet. They're very good defensively, especially up the middle. Hechavarria at shortstop and D. Gordon at second base. Very solid defensively there. And possibly one of the best outfields in baseball. Christian Yelich in left, Marcell Ozuna in center, and, of course, Giancarlo Stanton in right. These guys can play defense and they can hit. So maybe one of the best outfields in all of baseball we see there in Miami.
Nationals, Mets, Bravos, Marlins, and then the boys from the city of brotherly love bringing up the rear, the Phillies.
That leaves the Phillies, absolutely. Unfortunately, adding Howie Kendrick to that team is just not going to be enough, I'm afraid. Like their manager, Pete Buchanan is a good baseball man, good, solid guy. Really like him. I think this team can build around Odubel Herrera and Michael Franco. I think that there's two guys that they will look to in the future to build their team around. Once again, when it comes down to pitching, they showed some good improvement last year in pitching, but I don't know that we're going to see that as much because Aaron Nola has an elbow tear, but he elected to rest it over Tommy John surgery, so we'll see how that all plays out throughout the season. I will not be surprised if he doesn't have Tommy John surgery sometime during the season because of that slight tear in his elbow. And here's the problem with Philadelphia. Their bullpen's a mess.
Little shaky at best.
It's where Cincinnati was last year. That's pretty much where they are. They were no better last year than the Reds bullpen. And they haven't changed that. They didn't improve anything. So I think that's going to be a big problem for them. They just don't have the guys this year to compete. That's just where they are. But here's the thing about Philadelphia. They will not hesitate if they think they can be good to go out and pick up the guys they need. They'll spend the money. They'll go out and do it in order to compete if they think they can in a couple of years.
Talking to Greg Salyer, before I let you go, I got a story over on this side of the fence. Pretty cool stuff. The Little League World Series is going to be happening later on in the year, of course, in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Well, it's been announced or revealed, I guess. Pittsburgh is going to host the Cardinals on Sunday, August 20th. Game will be moved to Williamsport, Pennsylvania. At the same time, the Little League World Series is going on. Of course, they're not going to play on the same field, of course. They're going to be playing at the BB&T Ballpark at historic Bowman Field. 345 down the left field line, 405 to center, 350 to right. Seats only 4,200 people, but they're going to play that game. It's the Williamsport Crosscutters, the Phillies' short season single A affiliate. So the big club, Pittsburgh and the Cardinals, going to be there that weekend for the Little League World Series. They're going to be playing the same weekend on Sunday, August 20th. That's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
Pretty cool twist.
I like that. MLB's willing to go out and play in different venues. Of course, last year they went to Fort Bragg. They actually built a stadium in order to play there, and I love that idea. Go to where our military guys are, put on a game for them. They can't always travel to a game because of their duties, and so they went to where they were, and that's great. I love the idea of them going to Williamsport.
Big day coming up Sunday at the old church house.
Absolutely. 50th anniversary celebration for Southwestern Baptist Church. So we're having a big day. We're planning for a lot of things happening, a lot of special music that day. We've got Randy Davis from the Tennessee Baptist Mission Board coming in to preach that day. We're going to have Ben Prophet from the Holston Baptist Association will be with us. One of our old youth pastors from years back, Jason Salyer, is going to be sharing with us as well. So, and the cool thing, Jim Cameron, the church planter, the man who started our church, is going to be with us to tell the story of how everything got started 50 years ago.
It's all going to be good. It starts at what time Sunday?
9:45 Sunday morning. We're going to be in there probably about 2 hours, and then we're going to eat afterwards.
Ooh,
so
that's what I like.
Absolutely.
Talking food.
When I invited Randy to come speak that day, the first question he had for me was, is banana pudding involved?
There you go. And there will be.
And it will be. I
guarantee it.
I promised him it would.
Guests are welcome, certainly, of course. 9:45 this coming Sunday.
Yes, absolutely.
So, I'll see you then.
All right.
Good
sounds
job.
Good. Thank you.
You like this?
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Pretty cool
it's good.
setup.
Yeah.
Digital stereo going around the world. So there you have it.
Yeah, my name's on the screen.
That's it.
That's really cool.
Anji's going to have his name on the screen next too.
Wow.
He won't know what to do. He'll be beside himself. He'll be just gaga land. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. He will join us next. That's Greg Salyer, Major League Baseball update. We'll talk everything coming and going with Anji next here on on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at FCA.org.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City takes care of both male and female customers, but owner Kim Smith says they have a special care and concern for ladies.
Being a female in what's considered a man's business, I understand the trepidation that women may have when they come to the shop. They feel like they don't know about cars, they might be intimidated, but that's not the way we do business. Everybody's treated the same. We take the time to explain anything that they have questions about, the repair, the process, the part. We want to make sure people are comfortable with what we're going to do to their vehicle and that they understand. We do cater to women in a sense. We have a real nice waiting room with nice Keurig coffee and flavored creamers, air-conditioned, cushioned seats, TV, everything a girl could want while she waits for her car to be fixed.
American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City, open 6 days a week. Call today at 913-3111.
We're back with the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Let's scroll down here and let's. This is good stuff. This is called A Geek on the Go here. Don't know what I'm doing. Here we go. Let's hit this right here because it's time to get him on.
Oh, look at that.
Look there. Dave Angie, Johnson. Tell you what, Jeremiah Clark, this guy can do anything from AppalachianDigital.com. So there we are. And we even have headsets. If I'm getting ready to do this right here, clear my throat.
Oh, okay. Hey.
See there? Check this little mute button. Watch his headset one. I'm going to say bye, Dave.
Oh, you're out. There you go.
So you're back. So if you need to cough, spit, chew, anything otherwise, there you are.
Well, you know me, you know.
I know you, the Thud Man. So camera, we're going to get the camera better because it's still dark in here, and we understand that. But we got a camera order to get a little bit more lighting. I guess we get closer, but we don't need to do that because Dave is Dave. We can see him from right there. Dave Angie, plus the audio is strong as whiz. So let's jump in there and go. You covered some basketball games the other night. Boy, Knox Bearden rolled into town with former Cherokee coach Jeremy Parrott and beat a good Science Hill team, beat them pretty good, and I guess they were hitting on all cylinders, right?
Oh, man, you know, it's one of those games you can kind of walk in the gym and you look at the two teams on the two sides of the floor, and really, you know, Bearden looked next to Science Hill the way Science Hill's looked next to the District 1 teams they played this year. They just had, you could tell they were quicker, you could tell they were more athletic, and you could tell they had a lot more length. And, you know, my thought when I walked in the gym was, you know, if this team can dribble and shoot, you know, Science Hill's in big trouble. Yeah. And the thing is, you know, I think Science Hill did a good job because they really pressured them. They forced them into 22 turnovers and still lost, you know, by over 20 points there. So what happened was Bearden, when they didn't turn the ball over, they shot 68%. So if they didn't turn it over, they were putting it in the basket. And they have some impressive players. Started 4 sophomores. You know, I don't think it's a team that's going to win state this year. I think them getting down there is going to be good experience. But I think next year or two, I'd pick them to win state at some point. Because they just have too much ability at every position, especially in the backcourt. So, you know, no shame in losing to a team like that. And I think afterwards, you know, it's never easy when your season ends, but it does help, I think, when you realize that you just ran into a team that, you know, it was kind of inevitable. It's not like they need to spend in the off season wondering what might have been if they'd played a little bit better, because that was just the wrong team on the wrong night.
Well, and I appreciate Ken Cullum saying that as much in your article. So, you know, just got beat by a better team tonight. They're better than we are. Maybe we play. He didn't say this, but if you play somebody 10 times, you may win some. But he said tonight, on this night, Bearden was better, and we salute him and congratulate him and so on and so forth. On the other side of the coin, Crockett, the coach for Oak Ridge, said all he put on his bulletin board was 73-70, which was Crockett's score last year in double overtime in Oak Ridge, and that's all he had to put.
Yeah.
They went out and beat Crockett 90-60. Oak Ridge, of course, Crockett's in a rebuilding year, obviously, for John Good, but still, Oak Ridge must have a firepower basketball team.
They really do, and they have talent at every position, and it was kind of one of those that, for Crockett, I think expectations early on being what they were for most people, nobody expected Crockett to be back in the sectional. To get there, I think, was a huge accomplishment for them, and, you run an Oak Ridge team that, first of all, talent-wise and experience-wise, they were better, and they were motivated because of that loss last year. So that kind of figured into the final score. But just an impressive Oak Ridge team. If you look at what they did to Bearden in the regional finals down there, I mean, they handled Bearden pretty good. Bearden comes up here and handles Science Hill. So that's pretty much the way that worked, and it wasn't unexpected when Crockett went down there and had trouble. So, but really, when you look at all the freshmen and sophomores and juniors there that were playing for Crockett, what they get back next year, and how much better those kids looked, in March than they did in November, I think they have a lot to build on there at Crockett. And of course, you lose Josh Relaford, but you get everybody else back. So it'll be exciting to see what they can do moving forward.
For my money, he's the player of the year in the conference. I don't know if he got that award, but Relaford can play. I mean,
he did not, but he should have. He should have, and
exactly.
that's taking nothing away from Michael Mays at Tennessee High, who I really, and my great player. But Relaford, of course, they do the voting for all that before the postseason. But Relaford's 35 against Boone was one of the most impressive things I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, and he did it against everybody. Every team, no matter who the competition was, even on the off nights, competition-wise, or when the good teams came to town. Just like when down to Oak Ridge had a heck of a game. So kid can score, he can play, and so Josh Relaford and Crockett end their season. We're talking into our buddy Dave Angie from the Johnson City Press. We're live here again. Tomorrow we'll be at Champion Chevrolet. Then on Friday we'll be right down the road to Food City Friday in Boones Creek. Next Friday on Eastman Road in Kingsport, and then the following Friday we'll be live in Elizabeth, in the home of the Cyclones. We'll be there Monday, starting our coverage of Elizabeth and Cyclone baseball here on Facebook Live. The Cyclones and the Unicoi County Blue Devils. What a way to start. Two front runners in that conference this year, and they're going to go at it right out of the chute, which should be a cold day. Baseball starts, and here we go. We have beautiful days now. As soon as the season becomes official, you bundle up and get your long johns out, but we'll be there ready to go on Monday from O'Brien Field where the Twins play for Elizabeth and Cyclone baseball, which we're very excited about. And they approached us and said, you want to call some games? I said, sure. I haven't done it for a while, so I hope I don't say, three-point shot down the third base line or a missed free throw out over second base or something. But
I remember a night we had in the press box, and this happens every baseball season. Like you say, the weather inevitably is going to be cold when it starts. But we did a baseball game in a press box. I remember it was 40 degrees, and then it got dark, and then the wind was blowing about 20 miles an hour. And my nose was running so fast I could barely keep up with it. I was trying to help you on the radio there, but man, oh man, that was a night.
You had sinus drip.
Then it went to extra innings.
You used your sleeve. At one point, we started to use my sleeve to wipe your nose. Like, whatever, I don't care. We're buddies. Use my sleeve if you need to. So, cold weather's, it's right around the corner. Unfortunately, we're still in March. But, again, baseball starts on Monday, and it should be a good run, and we're looking forward to being a part of that. We're talking into our buddy Dave Angie from the Johnson City Press. Then you look at Hampton lost a heartbreaker to Grace Christian. Hampton had the ball with in the closing seconds. Again, Adam McLean tried to get across court from the way I remember reading it, and had it knocked down, got the ball back, tried to shoot it, and the kid blocked his shot at the buzzer. They lose 64-63 in Hampton, so tough way to lose. But again, you look at Ned Smith and that Hampton basketball team and the girls team. Again, we talk about Hampton and Carter County. Here's Hampton's girls team down there playing tomorrow in the state tournament. The guys were a shot away from going back again. So to me, it's pretty phenomenal year in, year out. A community the size of Hampton. It's a great compliment to their athletic programs because they're in the thick of things every year in basketball.
Yeah, definitely. And I was down at the state tournament last year when we had Crockett, Science Hill, and Hampton all down there. And I remember writing a column about the leaders of those teams. When you look at Patrick Good graduating and Kobe Jones at Hampton, tremendous player. It was so much fun to watch him. Peyton Wingate, great shooter for Science Hill, great leader for Science Hill. And you look at those guys going and you're saying, man, how do they replace them? And when you look at Crockett, they lose just about everybody, and but here they are, and they're all back in the sectionals again this year. And of course, neither of those three teams able to make it back down, but still to return to sectionals, it just goes to show something that John Good said, when we asked him preseason, man, it doesn't look like you have much. He said, well, when players graduate, they don't shut down programs. You just keep rolling along. You find more players and you go. And all three of those programs did that and got to the sectionals. And, once you get there, you never know. It's kind of a coin flip at times. As Hampton found out, they very easily, if that last play had gone right, could have gone back down to state. So a lot to be proud of. And that just shows that these programs, part of building a program is absorbing those graduations when those kids move on and finding a way to keep playing at that sectional level, keep trying to get to that state level, and then you become a big powerhouse. So
here's a scoreboard update. In the first quarter ACC tournament, it is a 29-24 score, Miami over Syracuse, with inside of 4 to play in the first half. Again, that's being played in the ACC tournament in New York. We'll run down all the games being played a little bit later on. It's a busy Wednesday. Ooh. Tennessee takes on Georgia tomorrow at 1 o'clock at the Bridgestone Arena in Nashville. We'll get to that. I want to get his take on college basketball coming up, but the team we got to salute from the boys' side. We want to talk about the girls' side because they're in the state tournament as we speak this week, but next week, for me and my money, besides Dave Angie, is not a nicer guy out there than John Dyer, 31-7. First time in the team's or the school's history they're going to the state tournament, and I don't know when he's going to retire. He's not giving any indication, but it is winding down for him, I guess, to a point. Not a nicer guy out there and not more deserving person to take a team to the state tournament than John Dyer. And I've not seen him play this year, but apparently they've got the complete package, and they got Maplewood. That's who they drew next Thursday in the state tournament. So big kudo, big props to Sullivan East basketball.
That Maplewood team's tough. They've got the Mr. Basketball in AA, a guy who's coming up here to play at ETSU, which, if you look at what the Bucks did the other night and the caliber of players they have on the floor, you know what East is facing there with that matchup. But, of course, the Patriots, they've had a lot of good teams over the years. You talk about the heartbreak that Hampton's felt. East has felt that many, many times, and John Dyer, what a great coach, and they're there every year, and they've been knocking on the door. To see him finally break through is just a great deal. And, I can tell you firsthand what a great guy he is. When I was a young sports writer, maybe a year or two into it, I covered an East game, and I wrote something dumb. I can't remember what it was, but I kind of misinterpreted Dyer's strategy for the game, and, And so the next time I covered them, I could tell he was mad, but he put his arm around me, took me aside, and said, "Look, here's what you wrote. It wasn't right because here's what we were trying to do." I learned a little something about basketball, and I really gained respect for him from that because he really handled it well and first class. And everything I've seen from him since has been first class. And those kids, Gavin Grubb and all them, what a good bunch. Just a wonderful bunch of guys, and it's good to see them be able to go down to Murfreesboro and play, and it'll be fun to see how they fare.
I've said this many years covering high school basketball around here. He doesn't have the necessarily have the athletes at Sullivan East as compared to a Science Hill or a Dobbins Bennett, but year in and year out, pound for pound, he gets more out of his kids than any other coach, I think, in Upper East Tennessee. And that's no knock on the other coaches. He just gets everything out of every kid, and as he said, the quote in the paper in the Johnson City Press, he said, this was not an individual game. We all played together. We just all worked our tails off to win that game. So they go down next week. Girls tournament this week. Tomorrow, the Hampton Lady Bulldogs and the number 1 ranked team in the state in single A, the South Green Lady Rebels, play. Morristown West and Oak Ridge are playing today in the AAA tournament. So chances for Hampton or South Green to come home with a championship.
I think South Green's chances are really good. I think they're the best team in the state. I do think what a lot of people were looking at is possibly the 2 best teams in the state in single A are going to play in the first round. They got a tough draw. I think Hampton's draws, not that you face any easy teams down there, but I think Hampton's got to be reasonably happy with where they're at. But South Green, they're going to have to show up ready to play in the first round. If they win that game, I think they're the odds-on favorite. Whoever comes out of that, I think, is the state champion. So, but South Green, scary thing about them, I don't think they graduate anybody off this team. They bring them all back next year, and good luck to everybody down in that conference, because South Green early this season really took it to a good Boone team. That Boone girls team for AAA, very stout, amazing team, 19-game winning streak at one point. It was really the class of the area up here with a win over Morristown West in the regular season, and South Green took it to them. So, that's going to be scary next season.
South Green takes on Pickett County, if I'm not mistaken,
yes.
And Hampton's got Huntington. So that's the 2 teams they draw tomorrow in the state tournament in Murfreesboro. And, whether you go down there and win or you go down there and get beat decisively or lose a heartbreaker, the chance that you get to go. I mean, how many kids can say we got to go at a state basketball tournament appearance in their career? So it's an eye-opener. It's a lot of fun. It's one of those special magic moments for these girls this week and for the guys next week. So it's what it's all about. It's what you play for. It's all those two-a-days and line drills and all those games that you get to this point. So it's a special time, and I hope these people, the kids, and I know the moms and dads, certainly the kids absorb it, take it all in, because, it's not easy to get down to the big dance, as they say. So kudos to Hampton and South Green on the girls' side and Sullivan East on the boys' side. And a little farther down the road, of course, Morristown West and Oak Ridge. We're talking to Dave Angie for a couple of more minutes. College basketball tournament starts tomorrow, Tennessee and Georgia. The winner of that one gets Kentucky on Friday. Volunteers kind of backed into the SEC tournament, I think, in my opinion. So they need a little mo. Georgia's got a coach that's embattled. He may not be there. I think Coach Fox, he's under the gun. At least the Georgia folks want him under the gun. So you got an interesting scenario tomorrow. Tennessee struggling. Georgia maybe replacing their coach. What's Tennessee do tomorrow to win that ball game and get to play Kentucky on Friday?
Well, the tricky thing for them is just having to generate momentum out of thin air, because what you said was, down the stretch they didn't play well, and that's absolutely true. And sometimes it's tough as a basketball team to have to shake off, those feelings of not playing well at a time when it matters the most that you play well, with eliminations on the line. You like to be rolling in, and they're definitely not in that situation. And, Georgia's going to be a dangerous team, because I'll guarantee you, regardless of what the fans think of that coach down there, of Fox, the players love that guy, because coaches and players tend to bond, and this is a situation where, they could circle the wagons and try to make a run in this deal, and you're in the way of that if you're Tennessee. So, they're definitely not going to be playing a team that's not motivated. So they're just going to have to generate some momentum, hopefully have a good first half and roll from there. And then you win a game in a tournament like this, who knows? I mean, UConn that one year, we talked about it last week, they rolled through the Big East tournament playing like 5 games in 5 days. And, all of a sudden, they go on to win a national championship. So stranger things have happened, so we'll see how it shakes out.
Give me your 5. We'll talk about the Bucks here in just a second, where you think they're going to wind up in the seeding. But just across the board, of course, the tournaments are gearing up. Everybody knows that this week it's a big tournament time, and then that'll set the seedings and the pairings for the March Madness. But right now, give me 4 or 5 coaches, 4 or 5 teams you feel like are playing well heading into their respective conference tournaments.
Well, I'll tell you, a team that wrapped up last night was Gonzaga, and I got to watch that game. Man, what they did to St. Mary's. I'm going to tell you, St. Mary's is a 26 or 27 win team, and what Gonzaga did to them in the first half last night, holding them to 18 points, 21% field goal shooting, just shows how dangerous they are defensively. That's a complete team right there. I think Gonzaga, you put at the top of the heap. From there, I've been a fan of Villanova a lot this year. I really think UCLA is a good team. I think out west is where I tend to look a lot. With UCLA and Oregon, the way they've played this year, I'm a big believer in them. The Big 12, I'm not as sold on. I know Baylor's ranked pretty high. I don't know about them. They strike me as a team that's going to have a bad night at some point and go out earlier than they should. Yep. So I would say maybe Kansas I would throw in as that other team. And, of course, they haven't totally played up to expectations this year, but they're a team that tends to get ready for the postseason. So those would be 5 that I'd throw out. And, the one thing I do think's fun this year is there's just I think any given night, teams can get beat. It's just kind of a product of the one and done situation you have in college basketball, where you have the biggest programs. The Blue Bloods are depending on freshmen. They're depending on younger players, guys that haven't played together much. And then you have a mid-major team roll in, like an ETSU or somebody, who has guys that have been together 3 or 4 years, and they can play. And when it gets down to that postseason basketball, and you'll hear it on every level, high school, college, NBA, this run and gun type of basketball doesn't happen anymore. It becomes, you got to grind it out. It becomes possession by possession, and you got to be able to find a way in a half-court set to score some points is what it'll come down to there if you want to win a championship. So, the teams that have been together long enough, I think, will execute the best, and it's always fun to see who gets knocked off as